Hi guys, so I've been putting off filming a tour for over a year now. For a long time I didn't want to film a tour, but as my time with this van is coming to an end, I'm realizing I'm probably going to regret not having footage of my home. So welcome to my van tour. So the van itself is a 2019 130-inch wheelbase medium roof Ford Transit. Yeah, this van has really served me well. I have said before that I regret buying new. I'm not sure if I regret it anymore, especially with the van market where it is, especially having seen other people have to go through mechanical issues and breakdowns and stuff. I definitely am happy with the reliability that I've seen. I've also said in the past that the medium roof wasn't the right choice for me. Now, when I said that the first time, I was not only in a relationship, but I was in a relationship with somebody with a dog, and he happened to be very tall. So ever since I've been alone on the road, it's kind of been the perfect size. I definitely wouldn't recommend this van for couples, but if you are a solo female traveler or you are a guy who is either under 5'8" or is willing to not have headroom, this is not a bad choice. So as far as the exterior of the van goes, I only made 3 upgrades. I was a big believer in stealth in the beginning, not so much anymore, but I'll get to that. On the roof, I have 2 Renogy 100-watt solar panels, and then I also have a Fantastic fan. I've said before, I'm not a fan of the Fantastic fan. I stand by that, especially now that I've met so many people with Maxxairs. They're just a lot quieter and overall just seem better quality. And the last upgrade on the exterior is a motion window, which I love my window. I wish that I had more windows. I chose not to add more because I was a big believer in stealth. I don't think that adding more windows would have made me any less stealth. I feel like in the stealth categories, you're either 100% truly stealth without any solar panels, without any Fantastic fan on the top, or you do have solar panels, and at that point, I kind of feel like it's just more important to be low-key and to make sure that you're not an eyesore. And so that's kind of where I land now. I wish that I had a whole wall of windows. Okay, so this seems as good of a time as any to say I did not build this van myself. A guy named Coleman built it. Without him, I would definitely have been living in an undecorated shoebox. But because of him, I get to live in a decorated shoebox. As far as dimensions go, I lost my measuring tape last week. So I'm gonna give you rough dimensions, but fat pinch of salt. So from the back doors to the back of the front seats, it's a little bit less than 10 feet. And from the floor to the ceiling, it's about 5'8". It's a little bit taller in the center and a little bit less on the sides. The ceiling fan is the one place where a tall person can do dishes. So as far as the kitchen goes, the summary is awkwardly large. My sink is awkwardly large. My fridge is awkwardly large. Why are they so large? Well, the sink I'd never seen in person before I bought, but honestly, it's been really nice to be able to shower in the van. Without it, I would be a very dirty person all the time. As far as my fridge goes, I also didn't see it in person, so I didn't know how massive it was going to be, but I like having a big fridge. I also love having a freezer because it means that I can make smoothies and stuff, so don't know if I would recommend, but I kind of recommend. This is an isotherm fridge. It's a 12-volt fridge. Very expensive 12-volt fridge. It was either an expensive fridge or another expensive battery, so. Probably the largest faux pas in at least the kitchen, if not potentially the whole build, was my cooking setup. So in this drawer here, I have a Coleman stove. It pops out, I can set it up like so. It's really not all that bad, but when you live in a van full time, sometimes it gets hard to cook. Thankfully, I do have this entire space, so if I wanted to add an induction cooktop, it's just a matter of money. A lot of money, but there's potential here. So as far as storage goes, honestly, I didn't sacrifice anything. I have everything that I could ever want and ever need. I did choose to build out a top shelf, so this has storage all the way back. I can typically fit 2 layers of things, but honestly, I have way too much storage to need to fit 2 layers of things. So right now I just have a bunch of sweaters, some jeans, and my curtain, which pops down and it closes to make a blackout kind of thing. Behind this passenger seat, I have an overlandgearguy.com. I don't even know what to call this. This is a lot of storage. I probably don't need this at this point because I have so much storage, but when I had 2 people in here, it was absolutely necessary. So in the van's built-in headliner, I have bear spray, which I also use as one of my protection weapons or whatever. Journal stuff. I also have a book with all of my receipts for tax write-offs. And then I also have baby wipes. For safety, I have a carbon monoxide detector. And I also have a fire extinguisher down in the front door. As far as these cabinets go, I'm not gonna detail everything that I have because that would take forever. This is basically just my toiletry cabinet. I don't know. These two are just pots and pans and pantry stuff. This is my technology thing. I have a drone, microphone, wires and stuff. I wish that in this I had chosen to install a safe. I think it would have made me feel a lot better when I'm leaving the van. And then this last one is my clothing cabinet. And yeah, I have a lot of clothes, but also not a lot of clothes. This is like my secret Narnia? No, what? This is my drawer that has way too much stuff in it. It goes all the way back. So I have a bunch of shoes, propane, pantry items. This is a ridiculously large drawer on like 200-pound slides. In these drawers, this is Finn's drawer. It slides all the way out, as you can see. This is underwear. I'm not gonna slide that out. This is my miscellaneous drawer. It has a Polaroid and chargers and band-aids and cough drops that I've never used, and medicine that I hopefully will never need to use. This is just rags. As far as my water system goes, this is another doozy right now. When I first started out in the van, I had 2 6-gallon jugs under here. I had one for fresh water, I had one for gray water, and then I also had 3 6-gallon freshwater tanks in the garage, which I will get to later. 5 months after owning these jugs, they were the Igloo jugs, 2 out of 4 had leaks. And leaks are just, they're one of those things that at least I have like nightmares about. So when my water pump broke for the second time, I kind of decided, screw it. I am gonna take this as a sign to not have running water. So yeah, I don't know. I actually just ordered a new water pump. So the only other thing I will say is I really, really wish that I had put my gray water under the van. Being able to just have one thing under here, I actually am able to have a space for a trash can and laundry and cleaning supplies and stuff, which I never was able to have when I had 2 jugs. So I just filmed this entire tour and then I realized that people are gonna be like, where's your bathroom? I don't have a toilet. Sorry to burst anybody's bubble. It's fine. Not ideal by any means in any world, but I do a-okay without one. The number 2 business gets taken care of in gas stations or coffee shops or grocery stores. There definitely have been times where I've regretted not having a toilet, but for the most part, I've clearly not had enough reason to go out and buy one. And then as far as number 1 goes, it's basically the Shewee setup, just a janky version of it, so I'm not gonna explain it. Welcome to my living room. I spend way more time here than I ever thought I would, mostly because of the pandemic and coffee shops being closed. I really do appreciate the ease of use in this. The one thing I want to say about this living room setup, about this layout in general, I waffled back and forth between wanting a bed to table and wanting to have like a separate bed and table. I ended up obviously choosing this. I love this layout for all the reasons that you think I would. Like, I know myself, I would have a really, really hard time making my bed into a table every day. But what I will say, if you are a aspiring nomad and you are going to have a remote income and you are looking to work in your van for 8+ hours a day like I do, don't put your workstation in the middle of your van. It's a little claustrophobic, first of all. Second of all, if you're gonna put it in the middle of your van, make sure to have windows. Wherever your chair is facing, put windows. I know that the next van I own, I am 100% going to be doing the bed to table setup, if only because I know that my brain needs a differentiation between, oh, it's sleep time and oh, it's work time. So this is my bed. This feels weird. So on this side, the bed is 6'1.5" inch. On that side, it is like 5'11". So when I used to sleep in here with somebody, he slept on this side, I slept on that side. It was honestly fine, but what I will say, when you are sleeping in a system like this, with a headboard and a footboard, you don't want your headboard and footboard to be as tall as you are. You want it to be like 5 inches taller. And so for me, this bed is perfect. I'm 5'3". I have heard that for taller people, this is very, very obnoxious. By far, my favorite thing in this entire van, and this is not an exaggeration, this is the only thing that I could not live without. It is my heating blanket. I do have this one linked in my description, but I've had multiple different heating blankets. They all work the same. I definitely would have one with a safety mode. That's the only thing that I care about. Yeah, I've had a heater in this space before, and although it was a dry air diesel heater, when I was in a really, really cold place where it was really, really cold outside and I wanted it to be warm inside, I had to close all the windows. But if you're in a space as small and you close all the windows, you have the issue of condensation on the walls and windows. I don't like the idea of introducing any kind of moisture into this van, especially when I'm thinking about selling it. So I swapped over to using a heating blanket. And honestly, this brings me a lot more peace of mind anyway, for a lot of different reasons. So before I get to storage and my garage and stuff, I'm going to talk about my electricity. I'm not going to show you where it is because I have a spare tire in the way right now and I am not about to get all dirty to show you guys. So I have a 100 amp hour Battleborn lithium battery, and that is charged by my Renogy solar panels as well as my, I don't know what it's called, but it's a 12V to 12V battery to battery smart isolator. The only thing I'm going to say about electrical. I wish that somebody had told me how inefficient solar was, because for a long time I was having electrical issues. I didn't really understand why, and it was because I just didn't have enough power. So my solar panels charge my battery within 8 hours, and my smart battery isolator charges it within 30 minutes. So yeah, ever since I added the isolator, I have not had one issue. I can run my heating blanket all day, as well as my laptop all day, as well as I used to have a little BlendJet blender. I broke it. I haven't really seen my battery dip under 50% since I added it, so. So this garage is the pride and joy of this exact layout. And the fact that I only come back here once a week is how I know that this is not the right build for me. But this whole garage is split up into 3 different parts. The plywood was meant for support. The cool thing about it is it makes it so that you can kind of stuff one but not the other. So you can stuff a lot more stuff into this garage than you would be able to if the plywood wasn't there. In this first compartment I have my electrical stuff, so my brain is back here, my battery's back here, my inverter is back there. Typically it would not be this hard to get to it, but because of this spare tire, which I only have in here because I'm missing a part, you can't really get to anything. I also have my shower bag, ukulele, yoga mat, wood, things that I never ever use, but I have the space for because I have a big garage. In this middle compartment I've got 3 white tubs that honestly, I could not tell you what the hell are in those tubs if I thought long and hard about it for 2 hours. And then I have a Jackery, some toolkits, propane, dog food. And then the last compartment has a shower, backpacking stuff, the diesel tank for my heater, a file cabinet, chains, and a sewing machine. So before I close this video out, I want to say 2 different things. 2 things that I wish that people had told me when I was binge watching van tours. So the first thing is I just wish that somebody had told me to go try it before I bought it. And that does not mean going and having to rent an expensive van. That can simply just mean taking the car that you already own, sleeping in the back, making it into a little car camper setup, and going out for over a month. Living in a car for over a month is going to shatter any unrealistic expectations you have about this lifestyle. Like, every single van lifer that I've met that didn't start in a car, we all had unrealistic expectations coming into it, and we all had to grapple with reality. It's very easy to romanticize this lifestyle. It's easier to show it in a really good light than it is to show it in a bad light, because we all live in pretty decorated shoeboxes. This is just life. Life with more time to think about your problems. That's actually really accurate. Anyways, I think this is the end of my tour. Oh my god, what is this video, dude? I don't have this in me. Caroline. Bum, bum, bum. Out! Wow, my roof actually looks really good. I'm not doing a van tour right now. I am doing a van tour. Hi, son. Welcome to the party. Wow, I think I'm sounding like I should live in a schoolie.